I had a car crash and it messed me up pretty badly. I became half paralyzed. My right side was completely immobile. My name's Kianna, and I had one major concussion. It was back in 2015. I had a car crash and it messed me up pretty badly. I became half paralyzed. My right side was completely immobile. To this day, it's still actually quite, I can't fully feel it, but I make it work. I had slurred speech. I quickly started forgetting who people were. I didn't know who my grandma was. I would have almost mental breakdowns. 1 second I'd be normal, and then people would describe it like my face would just melt, and I would start crying. And I wasn't crying because I was upset, but because my brain was just so overwhelmed that I couldn't process things. And to this day, I actually still can't remember my first year of university. For about 2 years after that, I would have really nasty episodes. Massive migraines, to the point where I was taking 6 to 7 ibuprofen extra drinks a day. It was I couldn't process information, or I would have blackouts, and there would be periods where I couldn't remember anything. I would go to school and I wouldn't know where I was. And it was just I'd have those meltdowns where I'd be normal for 1 second, and the next second I'd start crying. And the only thing I would be able to remember was my name. And then the next day I'd have extreme depression, where my brain would be telling me things no one can love me, or I should kill myself, or things like that. And it could be such extreme waves. Luckily, I never ended up self-harming myself. And this lasted at least a year and a half before it started getting better. I was out of work and school for 2 months to rehabilitate, so they started sending me back. And I was, of course, taking so many ibuprofen, so I was bleeding, that I ended up actually going to a naturopath because I got sick and tired of being told by doctors, oh, don't worry about it. I did end up going to a psychologist, luckily, and they kind of helped me with the anxiety and depression attacks. Luckily, as my brain has healed, I don't have that anymore. But back to the doctors, I would go to them almost every single month, and they'd either tell me I was lying about it, I was trying to get attention, or that just to keep taking the ibuprofen. After I had the psychotic breakdown, they finally let me take an MRI, and when they got the MRI scans, it showed that there was brain abnormalities, but they refused to treat me at that point. I definitely say, if you can, go to a psychologist, because they can really help you through the process, because a lot of the time with concussion, depression, it's different than depression. It's almost like your brain is almost like a separate person than your actual personality. And if you're able to separate the concussion symptoms from your own personality, you're less likely to harm yourself. If the doctors turn you away, either fight them to the T to get any help, or go to a different doctor. Don't stay with the same doctor, because that's not going to get you anywhere. And as well, definitely with the depression, definitely seek help. Tell your friends and family if you can, and don't feel bad about it, because I know a lot of times people feel bad for having those symptoms, or they feel bad because they shouldn't feel like that, and they shouldn't, because your brain, your chemicals in your brain aren't correct at that point, and you can't control that. That's not something that's your fault.